Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our TLC Bhagavad Gita study this morning. Today is a very, very wonderful, auspicious day. Today is 21st of March, 2024. Today is the most auspicious occasion of Tirubhav Tithi of Shripad Madhavendra Puri. Shripad Madhavendra Puri Tirubhav Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. And I said that Shripad Madhavendra Puri actually introduced the concept of Madhurya. Until then, Radha Krishna worship was never known. Right? So Radha Krishna, the Madhurya Rasa was actually introduced by Madhavendra Puri, and he sang this verse. Ai deen dayadra nath hai, mathura nath kata avalokyashe, hridayam tvadaloka kataram, daitya bhramyati kim karomyaham. So actually, this was the verse that Radharani actually sang. This verse was sang by Srimati Radharani in separation from Lord Krishna. Ai Deena Dayadra Nath Hai, Mathura Nath. So Krishna has gone to Mathura, right? Krishna has gone to Mathura from Vrindavan, and Radharani is singing. When will I get to see you again? Ai Deena Dayadra Nath Hai, Mathura Nath Kada Avalokshase. Kada Avalokshase. When will I see you again? Oh Mathura Nath. Radharani is calling Krishna Mathura Nath. That means what? Krishna has left Vrindavan, Krishna has gone to Mathura, and Radharani is singing. Ai Deena Dayadra Nath Hai. Oh, you are deliverer of the most fallen. Right? Mathura Nath Kada Avalokyashe. Oh Mathura Nath, when will I get to see you again? Hridayam Tvadaloka Kataram. My heart is longing to see you. Hridayam Tvadaloka Kataram. Daitya Bhramyati Kim Karomyaham. Right? So she's saying, what can I do? Right? I want to see you and I want to be in your association. But you've left Vrindavan, you've gone to Mathura. Oh Mathura Nath, when will I see you? So in that way, Madhavendra Puri used to recite this verse. And Madhavendra Puri, we all know, like we discussed in the morning Brahma Murta program also, Madhavendra Puri, not once, not twice, but thrice. Krishna came in the dream of Madhavendra Puri. Initially to have himself recovered from under the bushes in Vrindavan. Anybody who's interested, you can check out on the Brahma Murta YouTube link of this morning. So we discussed in quite a length actually in the morning. Right? 3 times, right? Which is when Gopalji was hidden under the bushes, right? At that time, he came in the dream of Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri recovered Gopalji and instituted nice worship. And then Gopalji came in the dream second time saying, apply chandan on my body, I'm feeling very hot. And then he goes all the way through Ramuna, he goes to Jagannath Puri. And in Ramuna, there is a wonderful pastime that takes place because of which Krishna is called Kheer Chor Gopinath. Finally, he reaches Jagannath Puri, where everything is ready for him. And then he is ready to walk over the entire distance back to Vrindavan Dham to apply the sandalwood and camphor on Gopalji. And then Gopinath tells, I'm not different from Gopal. I'm not different from Gopinath. So you apply the chandan on Gopinath, I'll also feel the coolness. So in this way, loving reciprocation between the Lord and the devotee. And Madhavendra Puri was such an exalted devotee of the Lord, to whom the Lord said, right, I am feeling hot, I am feeling, I am under the bushes. Can Krishna not recover himself from under the bushes? But he wants his devotee to protect him, save him, worship him. That is the loving reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees. So in this way, today is the most auspicious day of disappearance, Tirubhav Tithi of Madhavendra Puri. We can pray with all our hearts that may our desire, right? Madhavendra Puri was very old and he used to not even do Madhukari, right? Whatever used to come of its own accord, that only used to have. And even Lord Krishna himself personally brought to him that pot of milk, saying, Baba, you've not had anything since morning, but no one goes hungry in my village. So please have this, like that. So Krishna personally brought milk for Madhavendra Puri. So in this way, Madhavendra Puri, very, very exalted devotee of the Lord. He rendered seva for the Lord irrespective of any condition. I am old, I cannot travel. Oh Krishna, why are you giving me such a difficult seva? He did not complain. Immediately, he walked all the way from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri. He walked all the way through Ramuna, the Kheer Chor Gopinath temple, and then he walked all the way to Jagannath Puri. And he got the sandalwood. He was ready to walk back the whole way. Right? So in this way, he was so selfless. And that is why the Lord also reciprocated with Madhavendra Puri. And he is one of our prime acharyas in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. He was the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, was the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Right? So on this auspicious day of Tirobhav Tithi of Madhavendra Puri, we can pray at his lotus feet. May our desire also be simply to serve, satisfy, and please Guru and Gauranga. Just like Madhavendra Puri was a shining example. Even if you can get a drop of such sincerity, such dedication in the service of Guru and Gauranga, then our life will be perfect. Shri Madhavendra Puri Tirobhav Mahamahotsava ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, so because I had just shared the link of the Brahma Muhurta program along with this invite. So I saw there Madhavendra Puri Tirobhav Tithi. So I thought I'll just quickly do a recap. If devotees want and further details, you can refer to that YouTube link of this morning's Brahma Muhurta program from Medhavni YouTube channel. All right, so let's start with prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Ajanulambita Bhujau Kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamalayataksho Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajne Sankirtana Praye Ryajanti Sumedasaha. Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Misha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Sagat Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gaudode Pushpavanto Chitrau Shando Tamunudo Yad Advaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha Yatmantaryami Purusha Iti Sosham Shavibhavaha Shadaishwaryai Purno Se Bhagavan Saswayam Mayam न चैतन्यात् कृष्णा जगति परतत्त्वं परमिह अनर्पितचरीं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्णः कलौ समर्पयितुमुन्नतो जुलरसां स्वभक्ति श्रियम् हरिः पूर्णसुन्दरदुरीकदम्ब सन्दीपितः सदा हृदयकन्दरे स्फुरतु वः शचीनन्दनः राधा कृष्ण प्रणय विकृतिर्लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकात्मानावभिभुवि पुरदेहभेदं गतौ तौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटमधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तम् राधा भावद्युति सुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम् श्रीराधाया प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वा नयैव स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्य मदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावाद्यः समजनि शचिगर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेकः पुरुष पुराणः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपाम्बुधौ यद् अहं प्रपद्ये यस्तदहं प्रपद्ये हरे कृष्णा. So these are the verses from Chaitanya Bhagavat and some verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we are studying in our festival group, right? I think the 3 more verses are left. Today we will do one, tomorrow we will do one. Today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We will finish all the 3 verses. Sunday, we will recite all the 10 verses with the meaning. And then Monday is Gaura Purnima. We will recite all the 10 verses for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, where we meditate on the meaning of each of those verses. Meditating on this meaning means understanding the internal reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding the external reason for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding the mood and mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why he has appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the mood of Srimati Radharani. All of that we will understand by the recitation of these 10 verses. All right, so let's move forward for our study of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. We are on preface. So we are on preface. We were reading about the mission of Lord Chaitanya, right? The 8 verses that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left us with, just the 8 verses of Shikshashtakam. The other teachings Chaitanya Mahaprabhu imparted through Rupa Goswami, to Sanatana Goswami, to Ramananda Rai, to discussions with Sarvam Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, like that. He disseminated other teachings. But his only direct teachings were the 8 verses that we chant every day in the morning before we chant our japa, which is the Shikshashtakam prayers. So we saw in our yesterday's session how Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahim indriyehi sevon mukhehi jibbadav swayam eva suratyadaha. Right? The name, form, quality and pastimes of the Lord cannot be understood simply by our own endeavor. But how can they be understood? When we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, then automatically we will be able to, by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we will be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is. And that is the only way. There is no other way. There is no other way we can understand the Supreme Lord simply by our own, mental speculation or our own understanding, our own study of Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Bhagavatam. Not possible to understand the Supreme Lord. But we can understand the Lord in entirety, right? Because Krishna says, right? Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. Right? I will cover myself through my yoga maya potency. I will not be visible to people who don't surrender to Guru and Gauranga. Right? It is only through the medium of Guru. Krishna is very, very clear. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. I can be revealed. I will reveal myself only to that person who renders service to the Guru, who serves a bona fide Guru and inquires submissively. I will reveal myself only to such a person. Otherwise, we can read Bhagavad Gita thousands of times. We can read teachings of Chaitanya thousands of times. But we will not develop that attachment to Krishna. That's why Prabhupada mentions in this last couple of paragraphs, Prabhupada is mentioning that any other path, whether it is Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, any other path, one may fall down or one may not get the desired success, right? Because there is no ruchi, right? We were talking about susukam kartum avyayam, right? It is joyfully performed, so much so that we want to continue that practice. Right? If you do 90-90, this will not work, this will not work. Then what will work? By the time we reach there, our life will end. Right? Hardly we are having, hardly people live for 60, 70, 80 years also now. Isn't it? 100 to dur ki baat hai. I don't know. Those people are very sattvic, engaged in deity worship, very regulated in their life. Probably they will live till 100. Right? Otherwise, 70, 75, 80, 85, it's a high time. Even if somebody lives till 70, 80, that means they've really regulated their life, right? In that way. So we hardly have time, right? So why do we want to go around all the other paths? Why do we have to go up the stairs with so much effort when the lift is available? You just need to take the process of Bhakti Yoga and be in the lift, the association of devotees, joyfully by performing this Bhakti Yoga, we can go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying there is no risk in this process of Krishna consciousness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us how to do this practice. All right. So let's move ahead. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching us regarding this process? Devotees who want to read may raise your hand and then we'll quickly go ahead. I believe we have to start from here. Before accepting sannyas, right? Yeah. Before accepting sannyas, the renounced order. All right. Hold read. Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Before accepting sannyasa, the renounced order, Lord Chaitanya was known as Vishwambara. The word Vishwambara refers to one who maintains the entire universe and who leads all the living entities. This maintainer and leader appeared as Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya to give humanity these sublime teachings. Lord Chaitanya is the ideal teacher of life's prime necessities. He is the most munificent bestower of love of Krishna. He is the complete reservoir of all the mercies and good fortune. As confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and the Upanishads, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, and he is worshipable by everyone in this age of disagreement. Everyone can join in his Sankirtana movement. No previous qualification is necessary. Just by following his teachings, anyone can become a perfect human being. If one is fortunate enough to be attracted by his features, one is sure to be successful in one's life mission. In other words, those who are interested in attaining spiritual existence can be easily relieved from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. These teachings presented in this book are not different from the Lord.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So just by following his teachings, anybody can become a perfect human being, right? When do we become a human being? When we follow the 4 regulative principles only, we become a human being. Otherwise, we are in Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam platform. Then we are equal to Samanyam, Pashubir Samanam. We are equal to animals. When we follow the 4 regulative principles, then what? We become human beings. Now we come to the platform of becoming a human being, isn't it? And then when we take up the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we actually become bhaktas. Then we become perfect human being. Right? A perfect human being is someone who's understood who is he, what is his goal of life, how can he attain the goal of life. The goal of life is Krishna Prem. How do we attain it? By following the teachings presented by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which has been presented to us in this book by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And these teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are non-different from Krishna's teaching to Arjuna, from Prabhupada's teachings to his disciples, from the teachings of Guru Parampara, Guru Sishya Parampara, whatever teachings are imparted, these teachings are non-different. Whatever we are discussing is a teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his disciples, what was given by Srila Prabhupada in the Guru Parampara, right? So in that mode, when we follow these teachings, we will also attain the same perfection that Arjuna attained, that Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all the great devotees of the Lord attained, right? With that consciousness, we are trying to understand what are the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, Karpavalli Mataji, please go ahead. Being engrossed in the material body.
Thank you.
Not audible.
Now, Mataji,
Yes, go ahead.
Being engrossed in the material body, the conditioned soul increases the stages of the history by all kinds of material activity. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya can help human society stop such unnecessary and temporary activities. By these teachings, humanity can be elevated to the topmost platform of spiritual activity. These spiritual activities actually begin after liberation from material bondage. Such liberated activities in Krishna consciousness and constitute the goal of human perfection. The false prestige one acquires by attempting to dominate material nature is illusory. Illuminating knowledge can be acquired from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. By such knowledge, one can advance with spiritual existence. Everyone has to suffer or enjoy the fruits of the activity. No one can check the laws of the material nature which governs everything. As long as one is engaged in physical activity, he is sure to be backward in an attempt to attain the ultimate goal of life. I sincerely hope that by understanding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, human society will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. Thank you, Mati. Om Tat Sat.
Om Sat Sat. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, 14th March 1968. This was written on the birthday of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That means this year it is coming on 25th of March. In 1968, it was on 14th of March. The appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Prabhupada has written this in Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple at New York, Dham. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Purnima Maha Mahotsava ki jai. So wonderful that we have just studied this 4 days prior to our appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So very beautifully, Prabhupada concludes the preface section where he is talking about how Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhakte labate param. At what point can one start proper devotional service? When one has no shochati na kankshati, no lamentation and no hankering. That is the position when one can actually start rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as we are not in that platform, we will be continuously either suffering or enjoying the fruits of our activity. Right? When we understand that this body is temporary, I am a Jivatma, I am a soul, I should engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we understand this by the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, then Prabhupada is saying human society will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. But for somebody who wants to serve, the world is the arena. So many service opportunities are there, but we only have to have the heart. We need to develop the heart to actually render devotional service. All right, let's move forward. Prologue by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, so this is very, very wonderful. We will read this. Let me share my screen. So, so this is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah. So, okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Tender pranams Mataji, Srila Prabhupada Jai Gauranga. Prologue by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. This account originally appeared in a short work by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura entitled Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Life and Precepts, August 20, 1896. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in Mayapur in the town of Nadia just after sunset.
Actually, here we see 1896 was the birth year of Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada has written it in the preface just on the day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written the prologue of teachings of Lord Chaitanya on the birthday of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Isn't it? It's not coincidental. It's all planned. Right? Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in Mayapur in the town of Nadia just after sunset on the evening of the 23rd Phalguna 1407 Shakhabda, answering to the 18th of February 1486 of the Christian era. The moon was eclipsed at the time of his birth, and the people of Nadia were then engaged, as was usual on such occasions, in bathing in the Bhagirathi with loud cheer of Haribol. His father Jagannath Mishra, a poor Brahmana of the Vedic order, and his mother Sachi Devi, a model good woman, both descended from Brahmana stock, originally resided in Slihet. Mahaprabhu was a beautiful child, and the ladies of the town came to see him with presents. His mother's father's Pandit Nilambara Chakravarti, a renowned astrologer, foretold that the child would be a great personage in time, and he therefore gave him the name Vishwambhara. The ladies of the neighborhood styled him Gaurahari on account of his golden complexion, and his mother called him Nimai on the account of Matri, near which he was born. Beautiful as the lad was, everyone heartily loved to see him every day. As he grew up, he became a whimsical and frolicsome lad. After his 5th year, he was admitted into a Patashala school, where he picked up Bengali in a very short time. Most of
Hare
his
Krishna. Thank you,
contemporaries
Mataji.
have
Very good. Wonderful. Sir, so we have actually, we are 4 days away already. We can visualize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearing in Navadvip Dham, right? His mother, Shachi Devi, and father Jagannath Mishra, they named him in, several names they give the children, right? Nowadays, they call Pappu, Kappu and all, which has no meaning at all. But here we see all those names which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right, as a small baby, he was given. All of them had wonderful meanings that Prabhupada is also describing here, isn't it? It's called Vishwambhar, the person who's going to maintain the entire world, right? And then he was called Nimai because he was born under the neem tree. And then he was also called, what was the other name? Vishwambar and Gaurahari. He was called Gaurahari, of course, Gauranga, because he was golden complexion. He had taken the mode of Srimati Radharani. So he's golden complexion. So he's called Gaurahari. So he's Hari himself, who's in the complexion of Gaura, who's in the golden complexion, right? So he's called Gauranga. He was called Gaurahari, like that. So, and he was a whimsical and frolicsome lad, right? Of course, he's Krishna himself. How else he can be different, right? We can see from the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from his, Balya Leela, we see that so much resemblance is there with Krishna Leela, right? He also used to trouble, all the ladies simply by crying, and then everyone had to stand around him and chant Haribol, 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 like that. And then he used to prove that I'm a great scholar, and used to defeat the other person. And then when that other person accepted defeat, he'll say, no, you were right. And then again he will prove that the other person was only right, and then the other person will not know what to do, whether it was right or wrong. He will used to get confused. So like this, wonderful pastimes have been given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur here. So we'll cherish and relish this pastimes another 5 minutes. 1 o'clock we will start. Oh, sorry, 12:34. Okay, 12:40. 6 minutes more, then we'll start Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's move ahead. Most of his contemporary biographers. Manimala Mataji, go ahead. Okay, we need some readers for Bhagavad Gita also, huh? Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, yes.
Most of his temporary biographers have mentioned certain
Contemporary
biographer have mentioned certain anecdotes regarding Chaitanya, which are ample records of his early miracles. It is said that when he was an infant in his mother's arms, he wept continually, and when the neighboring ladies cried Haribol, he used to stop. Thus, there was a continuation of the utterance of Haribol in the house, foreshowing the future mission of the hero. It has also been stated that when his mother once gave him sweetmeats to eat, he ate clay instead of the food. His mother asking for the reason, he stated that as every sweetmeat was nothing but clay transformed, he could eat clay as well. His mother, who was the consort of a pandit, explained that every article in a special state was adapted to a special use. Earth, while in the state of a jug, would be used as a water pot, but in the state of a brick, such a use was not possible. Clay, therefore, in the form of sweetmeats, was unstable as food, but not clay in its other states. The lad
usable.
The lad was convinced and admitted his stupidity in eating clay and agreed to avoid the mistake in the future.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, wonderful. Okay, we will go slowly. Yeah, these are all such relishable pastimes. There is no hurry for us to complete. Yeah. So here, we all know this pastime, right? That whenever baby Nimai, he wanted everybody to chant Haribol, he will start crying. And when he starts crying, he will not stop until all of the people around him are going to chant Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Now we'll also see here, once even when everybody was chanting Haribol, 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 baby Nimai would not stop crying. And that is the time when Nimai would tell them that let's go to the house of Jagadish Pandit, where he has made nice, wonderful Ekadashi offerings. And I won't eat that offering. And Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata are wondering, how does this boy know that even somebody like Jagadish Pandit exists? And secondly, how does he know that they have made Ekadashi Boga for the offering to the Lord? Thirdly, he also took them. He took them to Jagadish Pandit's house, Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit. Right? He took them to their place, and indeed, there was offering that was done to done to the Lord, and that was Ekadashi Boga. It was Ekadashi day on that particular day. Yesterday we celebrated Ekadashi, right? We fasted from grains and beans, and we chanted Hare Krishna more. So in that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a small baby, right, he took them to Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit's home, and indeed there was Ekadashi Prasad, which was offered to the Lord, and he urged his parents also, Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata and all the devotees of all the people of Navadvip, that to observe Ekadashi Vrata is very, very important. Right? So in that way, he was as a child also, right? He actually, just like Krishna, he killed Putana, he killed Trinavrata at a young age. Similarly, baby Nimai also performed such wonderful pastimes by which an ordinary child can never know. Right, that such people exist, they stay here, they've offered Boga to the Lord, they've offered Ekadashi Boga, etc. So in all ways, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even as a small child, he always showed himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we see here also that how baby Nimai also gave opportunity for his mother to explain something to him, right? Even in our Damodar Leela also, Yashoda Mai used to think, right, why are you eating clay, right? We can see the resemblance in the past times. Right, here also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as baby Nimai is also eating clay. But now he is offering, because he is a logician. As he grows up, Nimai is going to become a logician, a great scholar, a Sanskrit Pandit. Right? So basically he is offering there is a difference, but Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, right? There is a difference in the past time, but we see how he also ate clay, Krishna also ate clay. But here what is happening? Mother is actually asking, Nimai is asking mother, why I should not eat clay? And then, Mother Sachi is actually explaining the philosophy. Like when we go also, when you go preaching also, some people ask, why you have to go to the temple? Every Krishna is everywhere, isn't it? I will chant Krishna, Krishna everywhere. Why do I need to go to the temple? Right? Very beautifully, Prabhupada has explained all of this for us, right? So Prabhupada says, moisture is everywhere, right? You're going out, if you're going in the hot sun, moisture is still there. But can we quench our thirst with the moisture that is there everywhere? No. We have to get a glass of water and we have to drink that water. Only then our thirst can be quenched. Similarly, although Krishna is everywhere, we cannot perceive the Lord everywhere. Right? We have to go to the temple, which is spiritually surcharged. We have to offer obeisances. We have to do some seva. Only then we will realize the presence of the Lord. Like that, here Shachi Mata is explaining to our Supreme Lord, Nimai. What is she saying? Clay, of course, Nimai is saying, clay is also used for making sweet meat. And clay is also used for, now clay is like that only. Like I'm eating clay like that only. So what is the harm? And Mother Shachi is explaining that everything in its different form has different utility. Right? This is also actually defeating the Mayavada philosophy. Everything is one, right? Jagan Mithya, right? What is that? Their philosophy is what everything is one, right? Shunyavadi, Mayavadi, all that is being defeated in this philosophy that is explained by Shachi Mata to our baby Nimai. All right, let's move forward. Another miraculous act has been related. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. With this we'll end. With this paragraph we'll end. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Another
miraculous act has been related. It is said that a Brahmana on pilgrimage become a great in his house.
Become a guest.
Become a guest.
Vrishabhanu Mataji, you already read, isn't it?
No, Mataji, first time.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Become a guest in his house, cooked his food, and read his grace with meditation on Krishna. In the meantime, the lad came and ate up the cooked rice. The Brahmana, astonished at the lad's act, cooked again at the request of Jagannath Mishra. The lad again ate up the cooked rice while Brahmana was offering the rice of Krishna with meditation. The Brahmana was persuaded to cook for the third time. This time, all the inmates of the house had fallen asleep, and the lad showed himself as Krishna to the traveler and blessed him. The Brahmana was then lost in ecstasy at the appearance of the objects of his worship. It has also
Hare
been...
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, thank you. So that's the next pastime we'll read tomorrow. So this one is very Bhaktivinoda Thakur is given in such a small paragraph. This is detailed. It's such a nice big pastime actually. Right? This Brahmana who comes on pilgrimage, he cooks and he tells Krishna, right? We offer bhoga, right? We say Namo Vishnu Padaya. Maybe he would have said Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmane Itaja Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Right? When we are chanting the offering prayers, what do we say? Krishna, please come and take this offering. And what did baby Nimai do? He came and ate it because Krishna is not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when baby Nimai is called to accept the bhoga, he comes and eats. And then the Brahmana is like, hi, this boy has eaten up all my offering to Lord Gopal. And then, he was very angry, and Jagannath Mishra comes and pacifies this Brahmana and says, please, I'm so sorry. Generally the parents get embarrassed when the little child does some mischief like this. And then, the parents have to beg forgiveness. So like that, Jagannath Mishra is saying, sorry, please, again, you cook. I will ensure that my son does not do any mischief right now. And then again, this Brahmana cooks, and then again he offers, right? He again rings the bell and he says, Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmane Ita Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. And then again Nimai comes and eats. And then this Brahmana is like, hi, what happened here? This is really bad. Second time also I cooked, I cannot honor prasadam. Maybe Krishna wants me to fast today. Like that he was saying, and Jagannath Mishra was like pleading with the Brahmana now because he was feeling very guilty that somebody has come to his home and he's trying to offer food to Krishna, and his son was preventing that offering to Krishna. And he was like pleading, and he told that Brahmana also, now it's midnight time. So now Nimai is already slept. He cannot come at all. So please, you cook once again, just for me. Please cook again. So now what happened? He again cooked in the midnight, close to midnight. At that time, everybody is asleep. And again he cooks, and then he again chants, Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmane Ita Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Again the baby comes, and again Nimai eats. And then he opens his mouth and he says, hi. But now nobody comes. It goes, everybody is asleep. Even Jagannath Mishra, Shachi Mata, everybody is asleep. And then what happens? Nimai shows the form that he is only Gopal. And then when the Brahmana sees, then he actually faints. He actually takes the entire rice and he puts it on his face. He eats it and everything, everything is spilled over here, there in ecstasy. At that time, Jagannath Mishra comes. Then what happened? And then this Brahmana tells, no, everything is okay. Because baby Nimai tells him, you should never tell anybody that I am the same Krishna. So he tells that, yeah, everything is offered. Now we're just clearing up the place like that. So in this way, baby Nimai also, just like Krishna, did such adorable pastimes by which he was the apple of the eye of the entire Navadvip Dham. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Gaura Purnima Mahamahotsava ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki jai. All right, so now let's move forward to the teachings of Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. We are on the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yes. So we have to start from verse number 6. So we are on chapter number 5, which is talking about Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So we were talking about how jnana is of no use until it becomes vijnana. Unless we know how to apply. Like we always give this example of a mathematics formula. By hearting and ratta marifying the formula is not going to help us solve mathematical problems. We need to apply that formula, the correct formula to the correct problem. Only then we can get the correct answer, isn't it? So in this way, the jnana, which is this knowledge that we are acquiring by hearing, is of no use until we actually put that knowledge into practice. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, what should I do? Should I work in devotion or should I practice renunciation? And then Krishna is very, very clearly in 5.5, Krishna is told that you become attached to me and automatically you will become detached to the material nature. Right? And Prabhupada explains very beautifully in 5.5 purport that detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. Right? We were talking about a weighing scale. right? Where as our attachment to Krishna increases, our detachment to matter increases, right? They're directly proportional. Detachment to Krishna and attachment to Krishna and detachment to material nature, right? They happen automatically, right? One need not try to give up matter, or one need not try to give up attachment to material nature separately. When one develops attraction for Krishna, automatically detachment to matter happens, right? That's what Prabhupada tells very, very clearly, and 2-3 times he explains that in the 5.5 purport. Okay, so now we start from 5.6 of Bhagavad Gita. Very nice. Let's go ahead. Let me share my screen. 5.6. Sannyasa. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sannyasastu Mahabaho Dukkam Aptum Ayogatah. Yoga Yukto Munir Brahma Na Chirena Digachati. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we have to do from 5.11 Mataji. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's quickly then revise 5. Okay. Oh, I may be okay. So 5.6 to 11, what is Krishna talking? Krishna is saying merely renouncing all the activities but not engaging in devotionals. Yeah, we were discussing this yesterday, right? Yukta Vairagya. What is Yukta Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya means we are engaging everything in the service of the Lord. We are not saying 90. Right? That is Falgu Vairagya. Simply renouncing things when our mind is already contemplating on the sense objects. Is of no use. Right? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan Sangasteshu Bhajayate. As long as our mind is contemplating on the sense objects, our physical renunciation or our external renunciation is of no use. That's what Prabhupada is talking about in the purport 2, verses 8 to 9. Right? Prabhupada is saying that whatever we are doing, whether we are seeing or we are hearing or we are touching or smelling or eating or moving, whatever we are doing, if we are doing it with the consciousness of Krishna, remembering Krishna, then that is the perfection. Then we will not give up our sensory activities. I will not hear, I will not see, I will not walk. No. Right? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varane. Right? Use our eyes in seeing the deity archa vigraha form of the Lord. Walk to the temple, smell the nice, tulsi leaves that is offered to the Lord. In this way, when we perform our duty, oh, what is the sound? So, in this way, when one performs one's duty without attachment, but one's duty one has to perform, right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, one cannot even maintain one's own body without working, right? So, we are not going to renounce action, but we are going to perform all action, but with detachment to the results of that activity. Right? A person in Krishna consciousness knows that his body itself is the property of Krishna and therefore has to always engage in the service of Krishna. Okay, let's move forward. 5.11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairipi yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindrayapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Synonyms: Kayena with the body, manasa with the mind, buddhya with the intelligence, kevalai purified, indriya with the senses, api even, yogina Krishna conscious persons, karma actions, kurvanti they perform, sangam attachment, tyaktva giving up, Atma of the self, Shuddhai for the purpose of purification. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. Purport: when one acts in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna conscious person. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called sadachar, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Sri Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.187, describes this as follows. Ihayasya hare dasye karmana manasa gira Nikhilaswapi avastasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so called material activities. He has no false ego, for he does not believe that he is this material body or that he possesses the body. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body, etc. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. Nirbandha, that means I'm not attached to any material object. At the same time, I'm utilizing everything that is available with me, whether it is a speaker or the mouse or the kartal or the book or the mobile or whatever it is, right? I'm utilizing it in the service of the Lord. And that is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's move forward. Text number 12. Vrishabhanu Kalyana Kanya Mataji, go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम
Hare Krishna.
फलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिं माप्नोति नैष्टिकीम् अयुक्त कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते yuktam, one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma, phalam, the results of all activities. Tyaktva, giving up. Santim, perfect peace. Apnoti, achieves. Naistikim, unflinching. Ayuktaha, one who is not in Krishna consciousness. Karma karena, for kama karena, for enjoying the result of work. Phale, in the result. Taktaha, attached. Nivadhyate, becomes entangled. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. The steadily devoted soul attains the unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Purport. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the result of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the results of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality, that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activity in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plan. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness realization. That there is no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So, what is that verse? Bhoktaram sarvatapasam, Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram, suhradam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shanti mrichati. Right? This is the peace formula that Prabhupada is referring to in this purport. Right? Bhoktaram sarvalokam maheshwaram, suhradam sarvabhutanam. We know that Krishna is the well-wisher, Krishna is a protector, Krishna is a maintainer, Krishna is a proprietor of everything in this world. And Krishna is our supreme friend and our well-wisher. So why is it that we need to feel anxiety? We feel anxiety because we are not surrendered to the Lord. When we don't surrender to the Lord, even if we have the best of the life, even if we have the best of the comforts, then also we will never feel peaceful in this world, because whatever we may get, either we may want more or we may not have got what we wanted, right? Whether we get or not, life is always about disappointments. Even if there is happiness, the next moment there occurs something else which will cause us displeasure. So in this world, nothing can give us happiness. But even if apparently bad things are happening to us, but if we are surrendered to the Lord, then they will not seem bad, because we know that there is a greater plan, right? The other day we were discussing about Parikshit Maharaj, isn't it? When Parikshit Maharaj, when he was in the womb of Uttara, his mother, Uttara, actually ran to Krishna. Please protect my child in the womb. And Krishna protected the child, right? That was a benediction that Krishna gave according to the desire of Uttara. But later on, when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by Shringi, and he was supposed to die in 7 days, that time Krishna did not protect Parikshit Maharaj, because the purpose was higher. There was a higher purpose, because there was to be delivered. Srimad Bhagavatam was to be delivered through the medium of Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadev Goswami. So at that time, can we say that Krishna did not protect Parikshit Maharaj? Because Krishna did not protect Parikshit Maharaj's body. But did Krishna protect or not? Yes, Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj. How did Krishna protect Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj died. The Takshak, that snake, killed Parikshit Maharaj at the end of the 7 days. So how did Krishna protect Parikshit Maharaj? So Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj by actually giving him his own remembrance at the time of death. Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati natyatra samshayah. So Krishna actually protected Parikshit Maharaj by giving him his remembrance and taking him back home, back to God. So in that way, Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj. So Krishna always protects us. But what do we think? We think that Krishna protected me at this time. Krishna did not protect me at this time, because we think that Krishna has to protect us only in a particular way. When our will is fulfilled, we think Krishna protected us. But that is not the way it happens. Krishna protects us at all times. We need to understand that something is not happening according to our will. It is happening by the higher will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. But there is no need to panic. There is no need to anxiety, because Krishna is my best friend and he is in control of everything. That is the mood and consciousness of a devotee. That's why there's a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam. It says, Tatte nukampam susamikshamaano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvad vapurbir vidadan namaste jivetaye mukti pade sadhaya bhag. Tatte nukampam, tatte anukampam. That means even when there is an apparent suffering that comes to me, I take it as a mercy of the Lord. Tatte anukampam susamikshamaano bunjana, I accept it. Bunjanam evatma kritam vipakam. That means according to my karma, I should get much, much greater suffering. But Krishna is so kind. Krishna is just giving me a token of all that I'm due to suffer because of his compassion. Right? Hridvad vapurbir vidadan namaste. What does he do? He thanks the Lord. Thank you, Lord. I was supposed to get so much mountain of suffering. You have just given me a molehill of suffering just to purify myself. Right? Vidadan namaste. He offers his gratitude to the Lord. Jive taye mukti pade sadaya bhag. Such a devotee is entitled to liberation. Even although he is in the material world, although he is apparently looking to be suffering, but he is already liberated from the platform of material nature. He is already liberated from the three modes of material nature. So that is the consciousness of a devotee. Okay, let's move forward. So we are not going to calculate profit. Oh, this is profitable for me. This is not profitable for me. We're going to be peaceful. Whatever happens, Krishna is in control. I will do my duty and leave the rest to Krishna. Okay, Manimala Mataji, go ahead. Sarva karmani manasa san. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have read already. Can I read?
Oh, okay. Rohini Mataji, go ahead.
The shloka after you, Mataji. The shloka after you. Am I audible?
Yeah. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. Okay.
Sarva karmani manasa
Sanyasyaste sukham vashi.
Sanyasyaste sukham vashi.
Navadvare pure dehi.
Navadvare pure dehi.
Naiva kurvanna karayan.
Naiva kurvanna karayan. Synonym sarva, all, karmani, activities, manasa, by the mind, sanyasya, giving up, aste, remains, sukham, in happiness, vashi, one who is controlled, navadvare, in the place where there are 9 gates, pure in the city. No, pure, in the city. Dehi, the embodied soul. Na, never. Eva, certainly. Kurvan, doing anything. Na, not. Karayan, causing to be done. Translation. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Purport. The embodied soul lives in the city of 9 gates. The activities of the body or the figurative city of body are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. The soul, although subjecting himself to the conditions of the body, can be beyond those conditions if he so desires. Owing only to the forgetfulness of his superior nature, he identifies with the material body and therefore suffers. By Krishna consciousness, he can revive his real position and thus come out of his embodiment. Therefore, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, at once becomes completely aloof from bodily activities. In such a controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed, he lives happily within the city of 9 gates. The 9 gates are mentioned as follows. Navadvare pure dehi, hamso lela yate bahi, vashi sarvasya lokasya, thavarasya charasya cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of a living entity, is the controller of all living entities all over the universe. The body consists of 9 gates, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus, and the genitals. The living entity in his conditioned stage identifies himself with the body, but when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. From Shvetashvatara
Upanishad.
Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.18. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata, right? So the 3 doers, actually, the jiva is the doer, but it's still not the doer, right? Because what the soul, in the hierarchy, Prabhupada explains in that lecture how there are the 5 horses. They represent the 5 senses. They represent the 5 senses, and then the mind is represented by the reins, and the driver is the intelligence, right? And the soul is the passenger, right? So the passenger dictates to the driver where one has to go, and the driver has to listen to the passenger and drive the chariot accordingly, using the reins, which is controlling the mind and engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. That's the analogy that's given by Prabhupada. So similarly, as long if we were talking the other day, right? Suddenly we are getting into an Ola, right? The driver is just driving wherever he wants to. Then we will feel uncomfortable, isn't it? Well, I am asking him to turn left. He was turning right and going somewhere, right? It will raise an alarm button. Immediately we will call, either that 100 number or some relative or our husband or our wife, whatever it is. We call because we want to escape from that situation. But what are we doing regularly? We are actually giving ourselves to the driver only. Okay, wherever you want to take me, you take me, because I don't have any destination. When I know where I have to go, then I can direct the driver to take me there. That is what we are lacking. That is why we are purifying our intelligence by study of scriptures. When we study the scriptures, we know what should be our destination. When we know our destination, then we control the mind and tell the mind, you direct the senses to do this. You tell the senses not to do this. Right? Let's walk to the temple. Let's not walk to the cinema hall. Right? That's how we direct the senses to engage the senses in particular work. Right? And when we do that, then this soul is actually free or is not bound with the activities of the body. Why? Because the body acts according to the instructions of the soul. Through the intelligence, through the mind, the senses are directed in the service of the Lord. And in this way, this is a karma. What is performed is a karma. And therefore, the performer is not bound by the positive or the negative reactions of the activity that is so performed. Okay, let's move ahead. Text number 14. Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Text
Krishna.
14. Na kartritvam na karmani. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhuhu na karma phala samyogam swabhavastu pravartate. Na, never. Kartritvam, proprietorship. Na, nor. Karmani, activities. Lokasya, of the people. Srijati, creates. Prabhuhu, the master of the city of the body. Na, nor. Karma phala, with the results of activities. Samyogam, connection. Swabhavaha, the moods of material nature. Tu, bad. Pravartate, act. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the moods of material nature. Purport. The living entity, as will be explained in the 7th chapter, is one of the energies or natures of the Supreme Lord, but is distinct from matter, which is another nature called inferior of the Lord. Somehow, the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. The temporary body or material dwelling place which he obtains is the cause of varieties of activities and their resultant reactions. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of the activities of the body by identifying himself in ignorance with the body. It is ignorance acquired from time immemorial that is a cause of bodily suffering and distress. As soon as the living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, he becomes free from the reactions as well. As long as he is in the city of body, he appears to be the master of it, but actually he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions and reactions. He is simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. His best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. That alone will save him from all the turmoil.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. The best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. That alone will save him from all turmoil. Right? So we were talking the other day about this boat, right? This human body is the best boat to cross over the ocean of material existence. Bhava Sagar can be crossed simply by utilizing this boat. It is utilizing this human body by engaging in devotional service. And then what happens? We will become free from karmic reactions as well as our sinful reactions, right? Positive reactions and negative reactions. And when that happens, then there is no need to obtain another body. Why do we get another body? Because we want to enjoy certain things, we want to have to suffer certain actions. That is why we have to take another body so that we can enjoy and suffer the results of our bad activities, right? But when we realize that I am the soul and I'm going to perform this role or my duty simply for the satisfaction of the Lord, then what happens? I'm neither bound by the positive reactions, nor am I bound by the negative reactions of my work, right? So in that way, this is what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying that we should perform our activities for the pleasure of the Lord, not for sense gratification. That is the moral of the verse. That is the essence of the verse. Text number 15. Okay, Rajneesh Prabhu, go ahead. Text number 15.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiv sukham viduh ajnanena vritam jnanam none ever they accept kasyachit anyone papam sin nor sa also you are certainly Sukritam, pious activities, Vibhuv, the Supreme Lord, Chintana by ignorance, Bhajan by ignorance, Avratam covered Jnana knowledge, Tena by
Jnana.
that, Jnana knowledge, Tena by that, Mohiyanti are bewildered Jantvaha, the living entity. Translation. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone is sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of ignorance which covers their real knowledge. At first, the Sanskrit word Vibhu means the Supreme Lord who is full of unlimited knowledge, which is strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. He is always satisfied in himself, undisturbed by sinful or pious activities. He does not create a particular position for any living entity, but the living entity, bewildered by ignorance, desires to be put into the certain conditions of life, thereby is gain of it. The living entity is by superior nature full of knowledge. Nevertheless, he is prone to be influenced by ignorance due to the limited power. The Lord is omnipotent, but the living entity is not. The Lord is Vibhu or omniscient, but the living entity is Anu or atomic. Because he is living, he has the capacity to desire why he wishes. Such desire is fulfilled only by the omni, omnipotent, omnipotent Lord, and so when the living entity is bewildered, desires Lord allows it to desire, but the Lord is never responsible for the absence and existence of which may be desired. Being in a bewildered condition, therefore, the embodied soul identifies himself with the circumstantial material body and becomes subjected to the temporary misery and happiness of life. The Lord is constant companion of the living entity as Paramatma or the super soul, and therefore he can understood he can understand the desires of his soul as one can smell the flavor of a flower by being there. Desire is a suitable form of conditioning for the living entity. The Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. Man proposes and God disposes. The individual is not therefore omnipotent in fulfilling his desires. The Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute, independent living entities. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one's desire in such a way that one can attain it and be eternally happy. The Vedic hymns therefore declare Isa you hai iva
एष
sadhu.
योगी एव साधु कर्म कारयति तं यम् एभ्यो लोकेभ्य उन्निनीशते एष यो एव साधौ कर्म कारयति यम् अधो निनीशते.
The Lord engages the living and pious activities so that he may be elevated. The Lord engages the pious activities so that he may go to hell. Kaustaki Upnish 3.8.
अज्ञो जन्तुरनीशोऽयम् आत्मनः सुखदुःखयोः ईश्वर प्रेरितो गच्छेत् स्वर्गं वा स्वभ्रमेव च.
The living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness, but by the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell as a cloud is driven by the air. Therefore, the embodied soul, by his im- immemorial desire to avoid Krishna consciousness, causes his own bewilderment. Consequently, although he is consciously lesser, blissful and cognizant due to the littleness of the existence of object, his constitutional position of the base Lord, and is thus and is thus
Hmm?
Therefore, the embedded soul, by his immortal desire to avoid causes his own bewilderment. Consequently, although he is constituted eternal, beautiful, and perfect, due to littleness of his existence, he forgets his constitutional position of service to the Lord and is thus entrapped by nepotism. And under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his eternal existence. The Vedanta Sutras 2.1.2.1.34 also confirms this. Vyasya Maya Nair Granhe Na Siktavat Tatha Hi Darsayati. Darsayati. The Lord neither hates or likes anyone, though he appears to judge.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very, very wonderful purport here, right? So, where Prabhupada is very clearly telling the Lord, it's like some people when we call them, you come, let's go to Vrindavan Dham. You know, they say that, oh, let the Lord call me, right? Lord will, whenever the Lord desires, he will call me, and that time I will go, like that. Right? That means what do? They think that, they have no free will. Otherwise when, if it comes to going other places for holiday, etc., they are ready to plan and then go. But then when it comes to Dham visit, they don't want to go and they want to give the blame on the Lord. Right? So that's why Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita also, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gune Karmani Sarvashaha Ahankara Vimudatma. And it's only because of false ego that the living entity thinks that I can go and accomplish anything. But no, that's not the way it works. Right? Everything requires the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to do our duty and by the will of the Lord, just like Prabhupada gives example here, right? Now, by the will of the Supreme, one goes to hell or heaven, just as a cloud is driven by the air, right? We see how the clouds keep floating. Right? Gauranga. So we see how the cloud has no independent will. It's just driven by the air like that. So what can the jiva do? We can desire. But when we desire to serve the Lord, then the Lord takes personal attention. Otherwise, Krishna is neutral to everybody. Right? Krishna is not partial. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, I am not partial to anybody. I am equal to everybody. But in the same chapter, Krishna says later on, what is that? Kaunteya pratijani nami bhakta pranashyate. I am so much inclined to my devotees that Kaunteya, oh Kunti's son, oh Kaunteya, Arjuna, you declare that my devotee will never perish. Right? On the one hand, he tells that he's equal. On the other hand, he's telling that I'm partial to my devotees. So Prabhupada explains this very nicely. Prabhupada says that the sun is equal into all the places. The sunshine is there. When the rain falls, it falls equally in all the places. But it depends on the receptivity of the place, whether a tree or vegetation can grow. When rain falls on desert area, does any vegetation grow? No, it does not grow. But when the rain falls on a fertile soil, what happens? Nice vegetation grows. So in this way, we have to understand Krishna is equal to all of us. But what is the patrata? What is the instrument that we are holding, which is the heart? How much have we cleansed our heart to receive the mercy of the Lord? Right? Sometimes they say Krishna is very Krishna is only partial to his devotees. Of course, Krishna is partial to the devotees because the devotees are able to, because the devotees purify their hearts so that they can receive the mercy of the Lord. Otherwise, like in the desert, the effect of the rain is not seen at all. But in a place where the soil is fertile, nice vegetation grows. Similarly, Krishna Prem or Krishna Bhavanamrita, Krishna consciousness can arise in the heart of those devotees who have made their hearts proper or pure to receive the mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna's mercy is equal to all. Hare Krishna. Granth Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So quickly, devotees can give your darshan. Quickly, we'll do 2 minutes Harinam Sankirtan and end our session. Nama Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। So I see Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, Shobha Mataji, our Rohini Mataji, Vanmali Prabhu, Monimala Mataji, Sudha Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Karpagavalli Mataji. Thank you all so much for joining in. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you very much for joining in, for switching on your cameras, and thank you for your kind attention. We'll meet tomorrow, Brahma Muhurta chanting 5 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock, where we continue with our prologue by Bhaktivinoda Thakur on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wonderful, wonderful pastimes. And then we will continue with 5.16 of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Anyone has any queries or questions, you may raise your hands. Everyone can unmute themselves now. Also, I'd like to thank all the devotees who joined us yesterday for the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 discussion and preface, as we had an extended, elongated session for Ekadashi. So thank you all, and thank you all for participating in the Japa Marathon. So yeah, I hope their lordships would be pleased by our endeavor to please them by doing all of these things. Hare Krishna. Okay, so I don't see any hands up. Thank you very much. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada
Hare Krishna,
Gurudev ki
Mataji.
jai. Yes.
Please give us tips on how you do 75 rounds of japa, Mataji.
How do I do 74 rounds of japa? The whole day is apart from the time that I'm taking these sessions, I'm only doing japa. That I do only on Ekadashi. And I wouldn't say a very, very good quality rounds that I measure also, whether I take 6 minutes or not. I just randomly check only 1 or 2 rounds. But yeah, mercy of Guru and Gauranga. I've taken Sankalpa because this year is 75th Vyasa Puja ceremony of my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Shri Guru Maharaj. This Vyasa Puja is coming up on April 9th, and Tithi is coming on April 19th. So I thought until April, until his Vyasa Puja this year, I will do on Ekadashi, I will do minimum 75 rounds. So yeah, it is happening by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. So please bless me. For the next 2 months also, I'm able to do this for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga.
Please show your blessings on
Hare
us also,
Krishna.
Mataji.
All the best,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hari Bol. I'm doing
Hare
32
Krishna.
rounds, Mataji, on Ekadashi days.
Haribol. Very nice, very nice.
And
I hope everybody
please bless
your
me, Mataji.
completion in the group.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
update your completion of this thing in the group.
नहीं, माताजी हमारी congregation का chanting group है माताजी. In that I'm doing
Okay,
morning
fine,
का
fine, no
chanting
problem.
group है.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.